Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of What Ted Says. Thanks as always for watching this channel. I hope that I'm helping you get a fatter wallet and a bigger net worth. Now, if you're in your 40s, you may have several different financial goals like saving for your kids' college education, maybe even help support your parents or paying off your loans or your mortgage, and maybe even more in your 40s. And you have to check out a tip that I give you on this What Ted Says video to see what to do to help your kids. You know, it's natural to assume that you should put your family's needs first. I mean, about 3/4 of adults say that the kids that they have, they prioritize their kids' college education over their other goals. What a huge, colossal mistake. And being sandwiched between caring for your parents and caring for your children can make the situation even harder, in my opinion. I mean, more than 1/3 of parents that I've seen with children's ages 8 to 14 care for an aging relative, which can cost an average of $2,000 to $4,000 a month. So what should you do to make the very best money moves in your 40s? Number one, minimize lifestyle inflation or keeping up with the Joneses, because to live within your means is the same as saying avoid spending more than you earn. Just makes sense. Don't ignore this tip because it's obvious or because you think that having debt is normal. Not spending more than you earn means not relying on credit to finance everything. Huge mistake. It means paying your credit cards off every month in full. I love that, but by not going into debt with your line of credit to make those payments. It means driving a modest car. Think about a 2-year-old used car versus a new car that you can afford to fix, or buying a home in an area where, like I said, keeping up with the Joneses won't put you in the poorhouse. Saving up at least a partial payment for bigger expenses and purchases down the road because you're gonna have them, and being able to sleep at night without worrying about your finances. People that fall into that lifestyle inflation trap, they always worry about their finance, because remember, there's a balance here, right? By getting that financial plan together where you can figure out how to do some fun and some travel today, but save for the future, might make all the difference of you being successful towards your goals or not. Number two, attack your debt. I mean this seriously, like not just your non-mortgage debt, but all of the debt, because you're trying to build up your nest egg. But the balances in your savings account are really dwarfed by what you owe in credit cards or in lines of credit, or you have auto loans, or of course you still have those hanging student loans that are out there. The time now is to turn the tables while you're near or getting near your peak earning potential. You might also consider going to a 15-year note. I like this, by the way, because at a 30-year note, it could take you into your 70s. A 15-year note will get you there at retirement. And it's important to remember that you should have an emergency fund right now while you're paying down debt in case you lose your job. But you know, some people end up saving so much off of each paycheck, like their 401k deductions and other deductions they may have at work, that they're making up the shortfall with credit. That's a bad idea. So it's best to strike a balance so you don't abandon your savings plan, but you also pay off debt, because you don't want to end up with further debt or getting further behind every single and each passing month. Remember this, the time value of money and what interest can do for you, that snowball in a very negative way or a very positive way. The negative way is if you pay 10% or 12% or a higher rate on your debt, there's a negative snowball. Not only can it affect you financially, but in my opinion, it can affect you emotionally by making you believe that long-term retirement is out of reach and you won't even get started at all. Number three, and this is a serious one. I mentioned this in my opening in here, which is you prioritize retirement over college. Like, how great would it be to have a healthy retirement fund and have a 529 or another plan or some other means for saving for your kids' college education? It would be great. But listen, if that's not possible, you must prioritize your retirement over your kids' college education, because the reality is your kids can finance their college education, and you may say it may put them behind, but you can't do that. You cannot finance your retirement. That is super important. Be upfront with your kids right now and make sure that they choose colleges accordingly, at least ones that they can afford or ones that are within your budget, because if you can offer little to no help, then it's going to be up to them to apply for scholarships and select affordable schools. I mean, like all parents, we all want to help our children, but it should never, ever come at the cost of your retirement. So what do you want to do today? Figure out your number and your investments. Like if you plan to retire by 67, by 45, you should have saved approximately 4 times your annual salary. You know, people in their 40s with workplace retirement plans right now only have an average balance of $102,700 in their 401ks, and on average, they contribute 8.5% of their paychecks. And this was in the first quarter of 2019, also according to Fidelity. You know, that's not far from the real 10 to 15, and I think even 20% of your annual income that I would recommend that you put away for retirement. That 20% number to me is a magic number, and I love those super savers who can skew the data and put away nearly 25% of their income. But what's the sad truth? You know, nearly 25% of American adults have no retirement savings at all. So if you're falling behind on your retirement goals, I would recommend using a savings calculator. You can find them online to map out how much you'll need to put away to catch up. And there's always time. It's never too late. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you start saving $1,000 a month at the age of 40. By the time you retire at age 67, you'll have over $806,000, assuming you earn a 6% interest. That will tell you that you can always get started, and it's never too late to start saving for retirement. And one final thought on here for people in their 40s, which is really protecting your loved ones. Listen, if you have a family or you have dependents, it's extremely important to make sure they are protected in case something happens to you. You need life insurance and you need a will, and you should get them done in your 40s if you haven't done them. And here's the checklist that I would go through if you've got kids or dependents that rely on you now. Get life insurance, and obviously make sure that you make that premium payment every month. You never know what will happen to your health. In your 40s, it's that time where you get some chinks in the armor, you get some creaks that happen in your knees or in other parts of your body, and you also want to make a will and update it whenever there's a significant change. You might get divorced in your 40s, you may have other children. Make sure you make those changes, but this is the time that you can make sure all of your accounts, 401ks, IRAs, and life insurance have the correct beneficiaries. And if you're going to do a will, make sure that you have a durable power of attorney, a medical durable power of attorney, and of course a living will. That's going to be important. Now look, if you follow these tips on what I give you here on What Ted Says, you should be able to breeze right through your 40s. And you know what they say? 40 is now the new 20. Well, you've got an idea now what to do in your 40s. You need to now watch the 5 smart money moves to make in your 50s. It's the video right after this. You know, I'm always thinking at What Ted Says about how I can help you have a fatter wallet and a bigger net worth. And I hope these tips continue to help you reach financial success. Thanks for watching. Share this with your friends. Have fun.